Okay, we are back with our intelligent doodles. Part one, we did a practice sheet. Okay, so you had these blocks already drawn for you, and inside you would come up with your own repeated pattern over and over, or any sort of design you want, but it must be repeated and you must show variation of dark and light. Thicker sharpies, thick part, the thick side, and as well as the thin points. So we have our studies here. So you should feel a little more confident on what patterns and designs you might want to do. So you might want to do some that you did on this practice sheet, or you might want to explore with new ones. Let's put it aside. We have our paper. This is 9 inches by 12. 9 by 12. You can use larger if you want. This is watercolor paper, just because it's a sturdier paper. So you can use Bristol paper, watercolor paper, mixed media paper, sturdier, okay? Because with the Sharpie, it might go straight through if you use really thin. All right, now I said before when we did this that you can just go in with your marker and you don't have to use pencil. But for this part where we're tracing our hand, I would like you to use a pencil first and then let's outline with the Sharpie. But when we're doing the design, we can go straight with the Sharpie. And it's really up to you. If you want to do all your designs with the pencil, that's fine. I prefer not to. But this part, I like to. So hold your hand really nice and steady and sturdy. And I'm going all the way around. Try not to move. Take your time. I'm just going quickly, just for the purpose of the recording. You can see a little bit there, right? I also want to put in a border. So you can do a straight border, or you can do a swervy border, up to you how you would like your border to be. So you can be swervy all the way around. I like to do a border because I want to do the same sort of zentangles in the border. And it does not have to be thick. Kind of eyeballing it here, but if you wanted to measure it and see, this is 1/2 inch. It could be any thickness you want, but I still want some space around my hand. Because what's going to happen is I'm going to ask you to write something about yourself in the background. All right. See where my hand comes off, and then there. Okay? If you wanted to take it right off, you could, and it blocks that part of the border. Or you can just end like that, and then we have the border around. All right, so let's not worry about the border for now. We are going to outline our hand. Take your thick Sharpie, or if you want to take the thinner size and go around, you can. Right? And depending on how large your hand is, your hands are probably smaller than mine, so you have more space in the back. Okay? Now you decide again, I'm going to outline the border. I'm using a straight border. You don't have to use a straight border. You can use a wavy border. I wanted a straight border, and so I'm just going over my pencil. Using a ruler, trying to get a precise line. So now we have set up our final project. Okay, connect. Okay, My little nail. Okay, look at that. Excellent. Now we have a blank canvas. It's like a blank canvas for us to do our beautiful, intelligent doodles. So how do we start these intelligent doodles? When we did this, do you notice that we had a frame in which we can do the different ones? We had the parameters of this square. Well, we are going to create that, and you can create it in any ways, just lines that divide your hand. It could be smaller lines, larger lines. And I'm going to use the thicker Sharpie so you can see. It could be a line or it could be a curve, right? Anything you want. Look at that. But you see how I'm creating a shape. You could create larger shapes or smaller shapes, right? Maybe within this finger would be. And then in each of these compartments, you will do your different doodles. But it's really up to you. I'm just going to leave this here so you can start thinking about what's going to be happening. All these lines are separating the different ones. Does that make sense to you now? Because it would be hard for us to just start. We could just start and join everything together, but I think it would be a really great idea if we have some sort of compartments. Everything becomes a shape, and within that shape, we are going to create all sorts of wonderful things, right? Okay, and you can divide it even more to make it smaller, but each of these then becomes one of these. Do you understand? Each of these then becomes one of these. All right, let's just start. So, I want to divide this maybe a little more. I'll do another one like this. Zigzag. Right? All that becomes a shape. And I can divide it some more too. So then they get 1, 2, 3 shapes up here. Right? So the larger ones, you can divide it some more or not. And then start anywhere and develop it. Okay? So, because these are in squares, they look very formal. But when you put it here, it takes on a whole new shape. Okay, so let's do it in my spiral. Where would I put my spiral? I'm going to put it in this part here. And of course, the spiral is different than when you had it in the square. So it goes off the page. You can imagine where it would come back and go off. Again, imagine when it comes back. And then it can just repeat. Okay? You're going to have fun with these. Take your time. Don't rush. So I had the thick part. Let's go in with the thin. I'm going to do the lines. Of course, when you do this, you can change it up again. You might want to do lines. You might want to do polka dots. So many ways. So many. It's infinite. And once you get over, like, what should I do? There's so many things you can do. Just allow your creativity to run with you, okay? Look at that. I changed my mind. That little area there becomes a separate shape. And then I just do these darker lines up here. Look what happens. The lines are closer together, so it gives the effect that it's darker than where these lines are. And maybe I'll do the same thing here. So I'm using my thin line, but I'm going over it to make it a little thicker than the lines I used before. So make it thicker and also closer together. Closer together, the lines closer together give the effect, okay, that it is darker. Right? Straight lines, I could crisscross these lines, crosshatch, which then again make these darker because the lines are closer together. You get that illusion? How beautiful is that? Look at that. Much darker than these because these are single lines. These are a little thicker single lines. And then here I did crosshatch. I went one way and then I went the other way. All right. What can we do here? And I can get some of my ideas from this. I'm going to do this one here. So I can make it up. I can use some of the examples I did. I could use some of the examples I gave you as handouts. So you don't have to be stuck. These are all great starting points. So if you feel like, oh, I don't know what else to do, look on your sheet. This sheet, as well as the sheet I gave you, I'm going to give you with examples. And then you can take that to the next level, right? You can use it as an idea. You can also use it as a starting point. You can, copy it exactly how it is and you have it there, or a starting point. I like how this nail is, so I'm going to pretend I have the nail. Haha, I love it. I'm going to put another one here. Ooh, I'm going to give myself long nails. I don't have long nails, but I'm going to do that. I'm going to alternate it. Yeah. This one was my thumb. So this can be the nail. All right. You seeing what's happening? It's all coming together. Let's do this one that gave us a little problems. Where would I want to put this? Maybe here, here. Okay, now it's not a square, but we just have to remember to make our dots alternate. So the dots are not going one under the other in a row. They're alternating. All right, so I have my polka dots. If it doesn't work, we change it into something else. Or it could work as polka dots here too. All right, let's try. Okay. Oh. 1, 2. Let's see if this works. All right. So once it's alternate, I think it works much better. Of course, it's going to go off the page. That's okay. This one connects to this. This connects to this. You seeing? This connects to this. This connects to this. It's a different way of how the brain works in terms of repeated patterns. Oops, made a mistake. That's okay. This goes off here, and I will bring this one here, right? I made a mistake and put that line there. Guess what? It's not a big deal. I then put another line there to make it even. You did something that you think it will mess up. Well, just use that as a happy mistake. I love happy mistakes. My teachers at school used to say that. It's okay. Make it into a happy mistake. Look at that. Right? And I want you to realize as you're doing this, some areas are going to be darker and just pop. Like my nails are all just the black alternate. This part, I will pop that area there. Maybe some of the lines that you use can be popped to be darker. Right? For me, when I start doing things like this, oh, my mind just starts going crazy with amazing ideas. Amazing ideas. All right. Let me see. I like this. This one is like my webbed one here, but I all used thick. So it doesn't really look like a web, but it's still a lovely patterned effect. Now I'm just going to put some crosshatch in random ones, like, you know, alternating again. A good way of doing things like this is just to alternate. Have one that's plain, have one that's hatched. Have one that's plain, have one that's hatched. I hope you're understanding how my brain is working with these. Intelligent doodles, you're doodling, but you have a shape, a main shape that says something. This is your hand, and you're just starting to grow and grow from it. See where it takes you, okay? So I'm going to leave you with that. Let's continue, and I will show you what happens after, okay? All right, enjoy. Okay, so here's my finished hand that I did my intelligent doodles on. Remember, an important thing, you want to push the values. Values mean light and dark. So you want areas that look very dark where you're filling in the black shapes and spaces, and other areas that look lighter with thin lines, thin lines of the Sharpie. So you're going to use your thin line and your thick line. The thick lines you can fill in for it to stand out. So what you're going to see is extreme dark. You're going to see extreme light of the paper behind it. And then you're going to see midtones. Midtones from areas where the lines are close together, the shapes are close together, and it makes it appear as if it's gray, but it's not really gray. You notice? Notice that? So it's just lines closer together, shapes closer together or overlapping that can create darks. And of course, you can create extreme darks just by filling it in. All right, so in our border, now at this point, you can do many things. So as I tell you, I will give you a project, we do the project, and then you can take it to the next level. So this project is about ourselves, the handprint, unique to us alone. And then in the border, you can do any kind of border, straight border, wavy border. In the border, you can write a little bit about yourself, right? For those who don't like to write too much, you can just write in the border. You can also just color in the border and write in the background, right? Behind the hand. All sorts of things about you. This one, the writing is in the corners, right? All around. So, for instance, this is about me. And so, my name is Alison, Miss Alison Wells. I say, my name is Alison Wells, and I live in New Bedford, okay? Most of us who are doing this program are from New Bedford. That's why it's Exploring My City Throughout. We learn a lot of things about New Bedford. So tell us a little bit about New Bedford, or why you like it, or what you like to do, your favorite things. So I said I live in New Bedford, Massachusetts. I love New Bedford because of its rich architecture and history and art. Okay? And then the last part here, I said, I am an artist and I love to paint and teach art. So I would love to see what would you say about yourself. So start off saying where you live. Most of you live here in New Bedford. Maybe you could even say where you're from. Maybe you might be from another state in the country, or maybe from another country like me. Okay, so that's one idea, and then that will be finished. But we're also seeing different things that we can do. So I can add color into this. And I said we can do that with color pencils. We can do that with markers, right? Paint if you have it. I think I might color the background for it to just pop. Maybe a yellow or something. And then leave this black and white. Or I could go in with my colors. I could take all the colors or just my favorite colors and add pops of color. I'm not going to color in the whole thing, but I might add pops of color. Look at these little florals here. Maybe you can color those in, right? Look at another option. This is another one I did to give you an example. I colored in my background, right? And then I wrote about me inside. So you're going to write about yourself. Some people like to write more than others. So if you don't want to write as much, you can write at the border like this. Now, I use a thin Sharpie for that. You can go over with a darker Sharpie if you want to see it clearer, but you don't have to. This one, I wrote a little more about myself. And you can write it anyway, like right across, in between the fingers. I wrote it like this. So this is one paragraph, another. Okay? For example, I say here, my name is Alison Wells. I live in New Bedford, Massachusetts. I was born in Trinidad and Tobago. So I was not born here. I was born in another country. I am an artist and I love to paint and draw and I love to teach art. These are all things that are true about me. My favorite kind of art is doing painting and paper collage on large canvases. I love to paint. My favorite color is purple and blue. So you're getting ideas of things you can talk about yourself on this. This exercise is about yourself, who you are. And that's why we're using the print of the hand. I also say my hobbies are dancing and riding my bike and going on road trips. I also love going to the beach. Another thing I said here is my favorite thing to do in New Bedford. What is your favorite thing to do in New Bedford? Think about it. My favorite thing to do in New Bedford is to ride my bike to Fort Tabor. Do you know where that is? In the south end. And look at the beautiful view of the ocean and land and sky. I also love to visit the New Bedford Art Museum to look at beautiful art. So that's a little bit about me with my hand using the intelligent doodles. So the exercise that I want you to remember that we did was learning how to use repeated patterns with the intelligent doodles, looking at contrast. Contrast is very important. Contrast of light and dark, contrast of small shapes against larger shapes, right? Contrast of geometric lines, straight geometric lines, as opposed to organic lines. Contrast, right? The contrast of black and white. Okay, so these are my two. So this could be what you do, and you might like it black and white. That's fine. Or you can add a pop of color. You can add a pop of color in the background, or you can add color in between. Let me give you a little example. So this is my marker. If I go into my little flowers here and just do the petals. You see? So it's not like I want to fill in the whole thing, but I might just decide to do a pop of color. Maybe I might just do one flower, or I may do all of the flowers. So I'm just going to do them all quickly. But this is giving you a nice idea of how you can take it further if you want to add color, or maybe you might just love it black and white. The black and white is very striking. And sometimes you add a little color and it's a nice pop. And you have some color there. Sometimes I like to balance off colors. If I do it in one corner, I'm going to do it in another. Right? The pink. Maybe I might put a little pink. Where would you want to put pink? Here. And you just, make a decision. You don't have to take forever to make a decision like, where do I want to put the pink? Just balance it off. on some areas. Maybe it's just the pink you want on that, and that's enough. Or you're liking the color, so you go back in again. So markers work really lovely with this. Crayons will work lovely with it. Color pencils will work lovely. All right. I would suggest those things, and I would suggest not putting any paint. I said watercolor before, but let's leave it just like this. You can put color using those mediums. And I just, right? Look at that. Boom. Let me give an example of with color pencils. Okay, with the color pencil, I have a green color pencil. It's light, so I can go over like lines, the black lines, and you're not going to see. See? You can make it heavier. Look at this. I'm making it heavier at the bottom and then lighter at the top. Okay? Let's try the blue. Where do I want to put my blue? Uh-oh, my blue broke. Change my mind. Purple. You see what happens when you're an artist and you are working, things are going to happen. Things are going to break. You can sharpen it, or you decide, no, well, I don't have time to sharpen it right now. I want you to see what I'm doing. So I changed my color. And if you don't like the color, you put something else over it, okay? But you're seeing how well the color pencil works right over, okay? And the crayon will do the same. And then the markers give a nice kind of pop. So it's really up to you whether you want to use markers, whether you want to leave it black and white. I'm going right over, look. So once you have the Sharpie would not bleed, so you can put the crayon or the marker right over. Look at that, nice. So I can still leave it mainly black and white with pops of color, or I can color in the whole thing, right? I can decide if I want to outline my lettering, you know, but with something that pops, like, you know, the pink pops, or you can just go in heavy black if you wanted to do that and have it all the way around. Up to you. So this is the point where you take it to the next level. Okay? You can leave it black and white, but I definitely want you to write a little something about yourself. You can write a lot, all that you want to tell us about. Like when we have our classes in the beginning of the semester, we always introduce ourselves. We say our name, where we're from, what we like to do, our hobbies, if we have any pets. All of that can go into this. But a specific thing, because we always talk about New Bedford, I would love for you to let me know what your favorite thing to do in New Bedford, right? Or anything that you want to add about New Bedford in there. But it's about you, so we want to hear all the stories about you, anything you want to tell us about you. But look at the art form in which we did this. Intelligent doodles.